and I'm here to give you a synopsis of a tragic event that occurred in the early morning hours this morning. At approximately 2:49, a noise awakened residents of a home off of Bethia Drive. Bethia is a road inside a residential neighborhood that turns off Piney Ridge Road in the Mountain Home community, which sits in the northern part of our county. The resident noticed that a vehicle that appeared to be broken down in the roadway. It was later determined that the vehicle was disabled due to a collision that had occurred there in the area. A few moments later, the residents of this home heard a loud noise right outside of their window. They looked out of the window to find a subject breaking into their car. They yelled at the subject to stop, and the subject approached the residents with what was described as a crowbar and shattered the bedroom window where these residents were standing. They quickly gathered their family into the hallway and dialed 911. The male resident retrieved a weapon and a firearm and stepped onto the porch. At this point, he observed the subject in question that had broken into their car, reaching into the console. The male resident knew that there was another weapon hidden in that console. The subject did obtain that weapon, and shots were exchanged between the subject and the resident at that point. The resident was not hurt. It's still unclear whether the suspect was hit at all in that exchange. The male resident then moved back inside of his home, where he took a position where he felt he could best protect his family. At 2:54, Henderson County deputies arrived in the area and approached the residents on foot, searching for the suspect. The deputies soon located the suspect in a pickup truck sitting in a driveway across the road from where the original caller was. The suspect initially appeared to comply with lawful orders to show the deputies his hands, to raise his hands. But in one rapid movement, he retrieved a gun, firing one round, striking a Henderson County Sheriff's Office deputy in the face and critically wounding him. The other Henderson County Sheriff's Office deputies, there were two others there at the moment, returned fire, ultimately killing the suspect. The wounded deputy was rapidly extricated to a safe location by his teammates, where he was met with units from the Mountain Home Fire and Rescue and the Henderson County EMS, who have worked to save his life. Other Henderson County Sheriff's Office units, along with the SWAT team, responded and secured the scene for investigators. The North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation has been called, and it has taken over the investigation. We are assisting the SBI with certain aspects of the investigation in the area. The investigation has led to another person of interest being detained and a subsequent search warrant being served at a room in an area hotel. The wounded deputy remains in critical condition at this time. The suspect, the decedent, is identified as Robert Ray Doss Jr., We have two date of births giving us two possible ages, one of 45 years old and the other one of 47 years old. His last known address was in Lee County, Virginia. Doss is a career criminal with arrests in Georgia, South Carolina, Maryland, and Virginia. At the time of the event this morning, he was wanted out of South Carolina by the South Carolina Department of Probation and Parole, and he was entered with a warning that he's a flight risk and an escape risk. His record includes offenses for drugs, multiple larcenies, and felony thefts. The critically injured officer who does have life-threatening injuries is Ryan Hendricks. He's 35 years of age. He is a Marine veteran. He has two children, a 6-year-old boy and a 9-year-old girl. He's an exemplary officer who is also a member of the Henderson County Sheriff's Office SWAT team, serves as a field training officer, and assists in many other capacities. That's the chain of events as we understand them now. The investigation is continuing at this point.
Sheriff, can you tell us a little bit about Deputy Hendricks? How long has he been on the force, and how are the rest of the deputies and yourself and everyone doing with all of this?
Well, I can tell you, I'm struggling as I stand here in front of you. We are all family. This office, this sheriff's office, the people here, they're one big family. So this is a family member that has been critically injured, and we're all hurting right now. Ryan has been here since 2012. So he's an 8-year veteran of the department, of the office, and he has done an outstanding job in every aspect that he served in.
Chief, may I please ask you to spell his last name? Is it with an X or an
It's with it's Hendrix.
And sir, may I ask, does he have a spouse or a partner?
He was engaged to be married in the coming month, in the month of October.
Do you mind spelling the suspect's last name as well, sir?
We have him listed as, again, Robert Ray Doss, D-O-S-S Jr.
So may I ask, if he is a career criminal and actually wanted out of South Carolina, why is there some confusion on date of birth, some of his information?
A lot of that happens because it's dependent on possibly where he was arrested before and how the data was entered into different systems. So when we pull up the data, we get conflicting dates of birth. And I've given you both because we haven't had the time to determine which one is actually right.
Chief, what's the next step for this investigation, and what's the next step for Deputy Hendricks?
Deputy Hendricks is currently in a fight for his life, we will. This office will continue to pray for his recovery and to pray for his family, to pray for the whole sheriff's office family. As far as the investigation goes, the investigation at this point is a 3-part investigation. There's an investigation ongoing that concerns the assault on the officer by Mr. Doss. There's a separate investigation, and you'll understand these investigations will marry each other at a point, but there's a separate investigation concerning the taking of Mr. Doss's life by other deputies. And there's a third investigation into the possibility of other criminal activity that may have occurred around this same time in the area.
Is it clear at this time, Chief, if there was any known relationship between the suspect and the original homeowners, or frankly?
Absolutely none. Absolutely none. Speculating, we strongly believe that there may be a tie to the decedent and other criminal activity that has occurred in the northern part of Henderson County. That's strictly at this point speculation, but that's where our investigation at this time is pointing.
And the second suspect, sir, what can we learn about this person at this time?
At this point, because this investigation is still fluid, and it's that part of the investigation is again being led by a separate agency, I'm not at liberty to discuss that. I hope to be able to disclose more of that very shortly.
Is this second suspect, can you say that the public is safe at this time? Is the suspect in some sort of a custody, or is this search continuing?
Yeah, we have absolutely no reason. There's no reason for the public to feel like they're in danger surrounding any of the events that occurred this morning. We believe that the person of interest that we have detained and the decedent are the only two that are the focus of this investigation.
What was collected as a result of the search warrant? Did y'all finish executing that?
I believe, Bill, I believe that they're executing that at this moment. I don't think that they have completed the investigation there. And like I said, I hope to have more on that forthcoming just as soon as we can get it.
You mentioned that was at a hotel?
Yes.
Is that in the same general area as the?
Yes.
Scene?
Yes.
Which one is it?
I'm not sure as this investigation continues because that is an active crime scene at this point. I want to wait to elaborate on that just a little bit, but we will eventually make sure you get that information.
Thank you. Can you clarify the early sequence? Was a disabled car the same one the suspect down dead was trying to break into?
No, sir. The residents heard a noise, and I believe what they probably heard is the sound of a car colliding, wrecking right there in the neighborhood. That's what first awakened them. They peered outside to see a vehicle, and he actually thought that the vehicle may have just broken down or something. But you know, it's in the wee morning hours. But in a few moments, then they heard another noise. That's when they peered outside and saw their car, the car belonging to the residents on Bethea Drive, being broken into.
Chief, may I ask, we saw, at this point, we saw a red vehicle being towed out. Was either of those cars a red sedan?
I can tell you that yes, a red sedan was involved. I wasn't there, so I don't know if that was the car that you saw.
And just to clarify, and forgive me if I'm stepping on toes with things, so there was a vehicle in the road, crashed and or broken down. There was a vehicle in the homeowner's driveway.
In the homeowner's driveway.
And then a third vehicle, which was a truck, that the suspect was found in the home across the street?
The home across the street, correct.
Does it make sense to believe that he was originally in the vehicle that had the collision, or for whatever reason, then went to the homeowners and then went to this third vehicle?
At this point, that's exactly what we believe.
And who did the pickup belong to?
I don't have that information. The resident across the street, which is going to end up being another, potentially, he's potentially a victim, and I just don't have that information in front of me.
So if he drives it somewhere, that's a stolen vehicle.
No, now I'm not, which vehicle are you
The
referring
pickup
to?
truck.
Okay, no, the pickup truck sat at another residence across the street.
Right.
Okay, and that resident himself was at home, and so the suspect is what we're believing also broke into that vehicle where he was found by deputies. So no, we don't believe that there's any illegal activity associated with that vehicle other than what Mr. Doss may have perpetrated.
The vehicle involved in the collision, or the first vehicle that anyone heard, was that registered to Doss?
I don't have that information in front of me right now.
And this is Doss? Is that suspect?
Yes.
Is the second suspect being cooperative?
The second suspect has been, it is my understanding, I am not involved in this investigation, but it's my understanding that the second suspect has been at least partially cooperative.
And is there anything that you would like to say to the deputy's family, loved ones, anything like that?
Just as what I said, his family, as we say here routinely, Deputy Hendrick's family is part of our family. It's an extended part of our family, and we all hurt with them. They will remain in our prayers.
Sir, just for clarification, the second suspect, and we understand that the investigation's ongoing, you can't say a whole lot about that. Is there anything that you can tell us as far as why or how you even found out about a second suspect to begin with?
The second suspect, when we discovered what we believed the decedent was possibly staying in a local hotel, then through an investigation, it tied our person of interest to that same hotel room.
Why this neighborhood, sir? Anything,
It's a residential neighborhood. Most people work. They're asleep in the middle of the night. And honestly, when some of these neighborhoods, for some criminals, it's an opportunity.
Did your department specifically know of the decedent as a suspect? I understand he was on in other states, but did North Carolina or did your department know?
I don't believe that anybody in North Carolina that I'm aware of at this point has had any direct contact with him. Nothing that we're aware of, and certainly nothing that I'm aware of that we've had any contact with him prior here in Henderson County.
Back to Deputy Hendricks. Is there any information y'all are getting about he's in surgery, has been in surgery since he got there, or?
We know that he is being treated by neurosurgeons, and it's my understanding that they're meeting with the family, and they're trying to come up with a plan for treatment. So I have not been in contact. We've got officers there with the family, but I have not been in direct contact with any of these medical officials in quite some time. So I don't have any official updates for you at this point.
Is he a graduate of a local high school,
Again, Bill, you throw really good questions at me. I'll have to find that out.
What is the status of the other two deputies involved?
other two deputies, they, of course, because they were involved, they are still a subject of the investigation. And at this point, they are on leave with pay as this investigation continues.
Is that protocol, sir?
Yes, it is.
Are you gonna have body cam type of this?
The body cam that we do have, and officers did have body cams. However, this is all because the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation is conducting this investigation. That is all in the custody of the SBI right now.
As far as you know, was it running?
As far as I know, yes, sir.
This might be a little out of left field, forgive me. Does your office have access to mental health resources for deputies and others?
Yes, we have. Henderson County has been very gracious. Henderson County, especially focused for first responders, has a in-house mental health care system with officials. But we also, in certain cases, we reach out to situation-specific experts in rendering proper mental health care, mental health hygiene.
Will the deputies currently on paid administrative leave have access to that care?
Definitely. They already have.
Any more questions?
Thank you,
All
Sheriff.
right.
Thank you,
all.
Sheriff.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff.